Hi, everybody. This is Ashley McNulty. I'm with Coldwell Banker, and this is my very first episode of Go Live, or what did I say? Ask Me Anything. Keep it clean, please, but we will answer anything. Today, I am with Allan John, and yes, even though I am in the North and South Carolina area, I certainly can help you with national laws on real estate. John has graciously offered to be here today. I may have to, woo him with a candy bar or something later to thank him for doing this. But I wanted to sort of open it up and see if anybody has any questions. Please ask me a question. Anything. This is Ask Me Anything. Anything. Right now, I'll take anything. I don't know. How do you tell if they're asking a question? Somebody asked me a question, and let me see if I can even see it. Oh, here's a comment. Hold on. Caroline, you asked me a question.
I think they're all typing them up.
They must be.
They're ready to come through
They
all
must
at the
be.
same time.
They're really long, intricate questions. How was your Christmas?
It's fabulous.
Good.
It was.
Excellent.
It was
Mine
nice.
too. Did Santa Claus treat you nicely?
He did. Probably shouldn't have, but he did.
Well,
he always
good
does.
for him.
So, yeah.
You know, Santa's a very
I'm
nice
blessed.
guy.
I'm
Good for him.
blessed beyond belief.
Yes. Well.
So let's ask each other questions.
Okay. So let's see. What else can I ask you? Do you handle VA loans?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We do. I've done tons of veteran loans in the past. So our main core business is conventional loans, but with a minimum down payment of 3%. FHA is a minimum down payment of 3.5%.
Keep going, but we do have a question.
Great question.
Caroline asked, what does the housing market look like for this spring? Well, thank you for that excellent question, Caroline. I appreciate it. Obviously, I have a lot of folks from Atlanta. I don't really know the Atlanta market, but I can speak to the Charlotte market. Charlotte is one of the top places to live right now. It is very hot. And like John said earlier, the prices are going up because we have less than 6 months of inventory on the ground right now. What that means is we have more buyers than we have homes to sell. So what that is going to do is sort of push the prices up a little bit. You know, it's, what's that economic term that we learned? Supply and demand. Yes, supply and demand. My guess is, and I can't predict the future, but my guess is it's going to be a very tight market. Coming up this spring, we're going to be in a lot of multiple offer situations. And if you're a Game of Thrones fan, my name is Ashley McNulty, first of her name and winner of multiple bids. So there you go. Am I going to let you buy a house that's not worth it? Absolutely not. And I'm going to tell you.
Well, there's an appraisal process too that protects buyers to a certain degree, right? So they have to get through an inspection period, and then through an appraisal process, which is done through us, the lender. Inspections are, kind of on your side of the transaction. Through the appraisal process, which lenders do to protect ourselves from the investment, right? We also protect your buyers and our clients, right? From overpaying for homes. And it's a third-party independent appraisal that comes out to the home. You can't select them. I can't select them. The buyer, the seller. So it's truly a third-party independent person that
So
comes in.
how does
and
that work?
appraises the
How
home.
does that work exactly? And I'm going to put you on the spot
Mhm.
because one of the problems that I have had, and I know I've talked with other real estate agents, realtors, they have changed the standards and the rules of how you become licensing, how you can actually become a appraiser. Anyway, my point is that a lot of people are leaving the business. That said, one of my concerns is that when I have a house listed and let's say it goes under contract and the appraiser comes back out, and I've noticed sometimes they may not be from the area and they might not know the area very well. So when that appraisal comes back, I might not feel like it's right. So what do I do in that situation?
So when some of the new, after the debacle that we went through in 2008, 2009, and the government stepped in and did all this Dodd-Frank stuff, and a lot of what they want to protect consumers, right? And so it's not a perfect process by any stretch of the imagination, but the appraisal process was one that was included so that it was truly going to be a third-party performance of the appraisal, which could not be influenced by me, can't be influenced by you, can't be influenced by the seller, the seller's agent, the buyer. No-no. It's a big no-no. So, and so part of where the flaws could be in that, so it gets ordered by us, but we have to have a panel of appraisals. And we may not necessarily know that appraiser doesn't necessarily maybe know that neighborhood as better as another one, right?
So that brings me to my next question. Sarah Kraus has asked, and Sarah is one of my best friends, so thank you for joining. And she also used to be an appraiser.
Oh, yeah.
She had her own company, but she does ask, are the appraisers from hold on, I can't read.
We do both, Sarah.
Are the appraisers from a fee panel at your company, or do you contract with an AMC? What is an AMC?
An AMC is a third-party appraisal management company. That's what AMC is an acronym for, appraisal management company. But we're also a national lender, so we have what's called, we act as our own AMC because we have an appraisal panel that people that we vet but we still have to use the same procedures as an AMC does, which means you have to bid it out.
Okay, but they don't work directly for you.
They don't work directly for us, and they can't. Management company that we also use. We also have a appraisal panel board, and the difference typically is without a third party in the middle, it's always cheaper.
Right.
So we cut out the third party person, which is the AMC.
Right.
So now we can get appraisals cheaper, and we have more flexibility on turn times, how quick we get them back.
What is the typical turnaround time for you?
It's from the time that we order the appraisal till it comes back, 7 business days is roughly our turn times on those. And
that's nice because I can tell you from my experience as being a realtor that it usually takes about a week just after they do the thing, after they have the inspection. So that's pretty good.
And some of that is the advantage of having the appraisal panel board internally, because we reach directly out to the appraisers without that third party in the middle.
Okay.
So you're kind of at the mercy when you order an appraisal through an appraisal management company, which is the third party. Then they reach out to the appraiser. Okay. And then we're kind of at the mercy of how quickly they get that scheduled. So it's quite a bit of advantage.
So I have another question for you. Let's say my client goes out and buys a house and they pay $200,000 for this home. Okay. The appraisal is ordered, but it only appraises for $195. Now what? I can tell you now what from my end.
Yeah, it's not fun,
well,
right?
Actually, I have a different view, and maybe this is wrong or right, but I tell people, do not panic if it doesn't appraise, because what that does is now we can go back to the seller and appraisal. Here's the number it appraised for. This, we're not going to pay more than this. And I tell you, 9 times out of 10, they will come down on that price.
Don't they say to you, yeah, we were a little worried about that?
Sometimes,
yeah.
Yeah.
I find that too, yeah.
Sometimes they're like, sometimes it appraises and they're like, whoo, whoo. And I've been that way too. I'm like, oh my God. Is it appraised yet? Is it appraised yet? But that said, yes, it does give you a little bit more comfort,
sure.
Even though if you won't be paying that first offer price, right? So you're going to go back in and make an offer. Now, they could say to you, let's get back in. They could say to you, sorry, I'm not going to lower my price. In which case, we're going to sit down and have a conversation, because Allan is not going to loan you $200,000 on a house that appraised for $195,000.
We go off the appraised value. They
Yes.
could pay the additional $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
I see that happen a lot.
I've seen that too.
It's it becomes
how much do you love the
negotiable
house?
at that point, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything's negotiable. You mentioned due diligence. That is a little bit of a difference between North and South Carolina. North Carolina does due diligence. South Carolina, we don't. We can if we want. That's why I tell people, don't panic if it doesn't appraise. Now, if we offer $200,000 and it appraises for $150,000,
yeah,
I'm probably going to say, let's walk. That's not going to, but yeah. So,
then you go, what else is wrong?
Yes. I have the fun part. Allan has the stinky part.
Yeah. It's fun. We make it fun.
He does. He's a fun guy. We like him. But I do say, ask some questions, educate yourself, because everybody's different.
Well, what about this? Maybe people are wondering, what do I have to give to a lender to get approved?
Oh my gosh. Everything.
Shoe size, blood sample, and I think that's a myth.
Yes, the name of your firstborn child.
Name of your firstborn, and we've heard a lot of that. So 8 out of 10 times, if they're salaried employees, or they're paid by the hour, or they make overtime income, they get a W-2 at the end of the year.
Right.
All right. Not a 1099, not self-employed.
Mm-hmm.
The W-2, so we would need 1 to 2 years of their W-2s, not their tax returns.
You don't require tax returns.
Not for salaried W-2 employees.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I did not know that. Can you count bonuses? Let's say somebody makes.
Absolutely.
You can. What if it's like an iffy bonus? Like, it's based on.
It's kind of likely to continue that bonus. So we look 1 to 2 years back. Mm-hmm. Did they receive a bonus 1 to 2 years back? Which usually indicates it. So W-2, 30 days worth of pay stubs. So if you get paid every other week, 2 pay stubs.
Okay.
1 W-2. Now we're up to 3 pieces of paper, right? That you can get all from your payroll system.
Correct.
Usually in about 5 minutes. That's income. That's what we need for people that are W-2. And so we don't need their first. And then assets, we would need. Where the assets are coming from. If they're in the checking and savings account, then we would need 2 months of that.
Okay.
Which, now everything's online. You can pull those 2 statements in literally about 5 minutes for most people. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, you can name it, it goes down the list. Most financial institutions have the ability to pull that stuff down online. So there's your income, there's your assets, and those are the 2 biggest things that are 95% of the time when loans don't close or people aren't qualified, it's because of those 2 things and credit, right? And then credit, we pull credit
Right.
with authorization from them.
Mm-hmm.
So those three are the three pillars of getting approved for a loan. They're all equally as important as the other.
Right.
So once we kind of establish those things, again, 95% of deals that don't close, they fall in one of those three, or that we can't get them approved, or whatever it is, they fall into one of those three things. So those are the three things I talk about when people want to get pre-approved or get approved through underwriting. Those are the three big things.
And let's talk about some of the other things that shouldn't do when you're getting a loan.
Buy a car.
Don't buy a car. Yeah.
Open a new credit card.
No. Spend a lot of money. Don't go out and buy furniture for your brand new house, because
Might not do it.
that means you're not getting your house. I mean, I sit down and I tell them, I tell people don't even spend more than $100 at any given time, because you're going to have to keep. A lot of banks will say, "Where did you spend this money?" Right?
Just on credit. We're not talking about people's checking accounts and savings accounts and things like that.
Right.
I mean, they can. You can. What I tell people is do the same thing that you've been doing the 3 months leading up to where we are today, and typically that works.
Don't deposit $10,000 into your checking account, because.
And if you do, we have to be able to explain where it came from.
We might
get some explaining to do.
Yeah, you got some explaining to do, because that sort of triggers Homeland Security, and no, you don't want to deal with that. So, anyway, do you have anything else to add?
I think I covered it.
If
there's any questions, I'm happy to fill them.
Allan's awesome. We love him. So even if you're in Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, okay, Florida, he can help you. Ask questions. Ask me questions. Again, this whole thing is called Ask Me Anything. And I'm going to try and do this at least once a month, maybe twice a month. And hopefully we'll get more questions. We got some very good questions. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. And thank you, Allan, for
having me.
You're very welcome. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you have any questions for me, for Allan, please let us know. And even if you're not looking for a house, you just have a general question, I'm happy to answer it. So thank you again. Hope that 2018 is fantastic for you. I feel it. It's going to be great.
Huge.
It's going to be huge. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay. Goodbye. And I appreciate y'all joining.